You haven't said enough funny shit in between.
I know.
I guess this could be
nothing
it.
really.
I guess this could be the. This could be.
Here's
the
your
opening.
fucking joke. Enjoy it. Here's your fucking
Here's
joke.
your fucking joke. You want a joke? Here's your fucking joke. Take your joke. I got a joke with a side.
So you know what we did actually end up seeing?
What?
We did go see Iron Lung.
Oh. Was it any good?
Yeah.
I mean, I never played the game, so I couldn't get into it. Like, I really respect what he's doing, but like, I couldn't.
Oh yeah. No, it was not.
Couldn't be farther from me. It was not a good movie.
It was not a good movie. I mean, that's the thing is like, I again like respect and appreciate like
mad
all
respect.
all of the like for the money that movie pulled in with the budget that was associated with it. It is a resounding success. So here's what I will say. They try to establish lore without establishing lore. Like the whole conceit. I don't know how much you know about the game.
I know nothing.
I know very little about the game. I know very little about the game as well. I'm assuming the movie pretty much picked like 1-to-1 on a lot of that stuff. Main character is a criminal who is trying to alleviate his sentence by going in this submersible that he's welded into an ocean of blood, and they're looking for something. What? Who knows? But they're like talking about the things like the it's like the silent something or other to where like stars are just going out, and then they refer to his past and all these things that he did that are so terrible, and then they like do a flash of like a flashback, but like drop even more lore, but give you no answers to the stuff that's like established with it.
Oh, I hate that shit.
There's like a psychological aspect of it too, that it kind of like
he could just be
starts
crazy.
to present. Yeah, it starts to present itself as a certain way, and then just like things begin to happen. It is all I can really like describe it as. It's fine. It's something. It was a movie. I would honestly give it about a 4.5 out of 10. It's just Markiplier being Markiplier, man. Like he's one of those people who he's kind of like Nick Cage, to where he can't be somebody else. He can't be a character because he's so
Markiplier.
So him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, did end up getting to see it at least. I don't regret seeing it, but it was kind of very meh.
Okay. All right. Well, that could be the opener then. There you guys go. Neil gives Iron Lung 6 Neils out of a possible 60. All right.
Right.
6 tiny wizards out of a possible. That's your rating scale. It's just little wizards on the screen. Ah!
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go back into this. Do some plugs. Going in 3, 2, 1.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good. It's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming. You, dear listener, for whatever reason, have decided to listen to another Horrible Gaming Podcast. We are back. I told you we'll keep doing it. Just might not be every week or even every month. Jesus. But I am not alone. Usually I'm never alone. With me is...
Neil, aka Tiny Wizard.
And yes, we are back. We are sorry for the long delay. Life really attacked us for the last month again.
Lifed.
It was tricky. It would be like my turn, like I can't do it this week, and then it would be like his turn, like I can't do it this week, and it was like every time one of us was ready, the other one wasn't. But we're back. We're back today to do a podcast. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna do a double topic and not worry about the news since it's all pretty much blown out of the water anyway. And that double topic is the stellar Sony State of Play from a few weeks ago at this point, and the Phil Spencer news, which if you haven't heard, then you've been living under a rock. But we'll get into it. And before we get into it, we have to thank the people who has made this possible. Behind Our Ugly Mugs is a custom graphic that's provided by Mr. Mark Bell. We thank him for that. And then the theme song for this show and all the shows here at Old Man Gaming is provided by the man who makes the music, my brother, Nick Van Siders. We thank him for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with a relatively short fan traction.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our first segment, our most important segment. That is fan traction. That's where you, the commenters, talk to us, the co-hosts. I said that backwards. It's where we, the co-hosts, talk to you guys, the fans. We read out your comments wherever we see them. We talk about them. We discuss them. We only got 2 this week. There's nothing wrong with that, but we're going to read them. We're going to talk about them. So we start with William Hohen. Hi! Exclamation point. Man, sorry to hear you're sick again. You wouldn't believe this, Will, but right now, I got better. But right now, my daughter has been sick since since Saturday morning with a 107-degree fever.
107?
Well, I'm sorry, 100.7. It is fluctuated.
Jesus Christ. I was going to say, that's like brain death.
Yeah. It's fluctuated between 101.5 and 99. But it only fluctuates when we give her an ibuprofen, which is a fever reducer, so of course it's going to go down then. But yeah, so she's staying home tomorrow from school because she has been sick. So I am expecting that is my future. So yeah, prepare for more missed episodes, everybody.
I'll tell you, man, like the sickness has been wild because there was before I had gone on vacation, that one day I ended up having to call off of work. Mm-hmm. So I was sick then. And then last week, I am still getting over a sinus infection. And now Kayla has the end stages of the sinus infection that I had. And so, yeah, it's been a time.
There's something rolling through Kent right now to the point where Stella's elementary has been canceling extracurricular shows in auditoriums because so many people are sick. They're like, nobody's going to come to this. So we're going to push it off to March. Yeah, that's how bad it's been. So, yay. And I'm a bus driver, which means I'm on a giant metal rocket that's just full of all of those
germs.
All those germs. So I'm waiting for it to come my way. And it's in my house. So I'm kind of surprised it hasn't gotten me yet. But to continue his, yet. It's always yet for me. To continue his comment, man, sorry you were sick again. As for the most challenging game award, I was talking about the Game Awards, but now that I think about it, you should totally include it in the Horrible Game Awards. Here's my prediction for this year. Ubisoft won't exist in 2027. Thanks for the show. # it's so cold. It is. This was obviously posted during that cold snap that we had. So yeah, this was a while ago. I think he had said something like they should add a game award thing, which was most challenging game award, but he thinks we should add it to the Horrible Game Awards. I don't know, because I'm pretty crappy at games anyway, so I feel like everything's pretty challenging for me.
Everything's hard.
Right, everybody's going to be like, Dark Souls, and I'm going to be like, Mario! But yeah, that could be interesting. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We might have to add an award or two to the horrible.
We haven't changed the awards up. Actually, we had that
since
one year.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say we had that one year where we sat down, made out some hard categories, and then it hasn't changed since.
That was the second year, by the way.
It was the second year. The first year.
The first year we did it, it was me just coming up with shit. And Logan being along for the ride, and you had just kind of started on the show, and then Logan left the show, and I was like, you and I just need to get together and decide exactly what our awards are, and those are awards for Eternal.
Ever.
And that was second award show, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as the Ubisoft won't exist in 27, I hope, I don't hope that they don't exist, because I don't want people to be out of work. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they are just the worst, dirtiest, shittiest company, to the point where I've stopped playing Skull and Bones. Like, stopped. I can't go back to it. And I've wanted to a couple of times, and I can't go back to it. So, and I've stopped playing, even worse so, even bigger, is For Honor. I've stopped playing For Honor. And For Honor is, like, you know that I've been playing For Honor basically since I started this fucking channel. Like, For Honor is my game. And I feel bad giving Ubisoft any of my time anymore, with how they've treated workers, how they've treated consumers, how they've treated everybody.
Yeah, I get the feeling that I don't think Ubisoft is going to go away, but, you know, I feel a purchase upon the horizon, you know, from someone somewhere. Like, be it like a big conglomerate group like Embracer or something like that, just swooping in and picking them up. But I don't think Ubisoft for very much longer. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens to the end of this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they go through and just get picked up.
The weird thing is that Ubisoft, and here's the only thing that keeps me from saying that Ubisoft is just done, is because Ubisoft gets a lot of money from Xbox, because they now decide the whole streaming rights thing, the weird streaming rights thing that was part of the agreement to get to buy Activision. They have the streaming, they decide the streaming rights on the Activision games. So they've got to be getting a cut of that. So I think that's sustaining them a little bit. And also, it really brings up some interesting ideas of what happens if Ubisoft folds. Who then becomes the company that is in charge of those streaming rights? Because by law, it shouldn't be Microsoft. So what happens in that kind of situation? So it's a very, very interesting situation. We have completely lost Neil. He is...
Give me a second.
No problem. He's having a fight with a cat, so we're going to keep talking. I'm just going to read the next comment while he discusses cat stuff. I can't turn his picture off, so hopefully he realizes that everybody can still see him and doesn't do anything embarrassing.
Yeah, no, I'm good. It's just continue.
Okay, all right. So going into Jason's post. I'm pretty much done with new games. If SOD3 turns out okay, I'll get that. I might get Enshrouded when it comes to console. Other than that, I think I'm good for the next 40 years with what I've got, Jason. Love that mentality. And I'm going to say I agree with a lot of that. I think a lot of the best games that I've played recently have been older games. And any of the new games that I purchase are not AAA games. They are independent games like Absalom. Talked about that a lot. I will say there are a couple of AAA games I'm very excited for coming out this season, which is so funny to try and talk through what's going on the other screen. Fable has me actually excited. I want to see what's going. I'm cautiously optimistic, but it does have me excited. And then I'm a huge 007 jerk. I love James Bond. I love James Bond material, and I think First Light has a chance to be the first truly good James Bond game. And I know that's a hot take, all you GoldenEye people out there. Hey, GoldenEye is fun. I loved playing GoldenEye. It's not a good James Bond game. It's a great first-person shooter. It's not a good James Bond game. Good James Bond game, I've been waiting for that for basically ever, and I think First Light might be it. So I'm very excited about that. But other than that, I'm kind of with you. I will say I played Enshrouded. I did a review for it. I had some problems with it. Don't know if that's one that I'm going to stick with for a long time. I recently played the Windrose demo. That has me a little bit excited as long as they clean it up a little bit. So I'd like to play that. And I'm also playing the Star Trek Voyager game right now, which was really interesting as far as I'm concerned.
What did I miss? I'm sorry.
Oh my God, don't make me read and say everything I did. Jason says...
Just give me the gist.
I'm going to paraphrase. Jason says he's basically done with new games. He might buy State of Decay 3 if it looks good, but other than that, he's good for the next 40 years with what he's got. And then I just basically talked about, I love that mentality. I think that's a great mentality to have. There are a couple of AAA games that I'm interested in playing. Fable has me cautiously optimistic. James Bond, I want to play because they've never made a good James Bond game. I also said, I know that's a hot take because of GoldenEye, but GoldenEye is a great first-person shooter. It is not a good James Bond game. So, so that was my thought. Like, I want a game that makes you feel like James Bond. GoldenEye never felt that way for me. GoldenEye felt like a shooter. Like, that's what it felt like. So, I'm very excited for First Light. And then I also said that that there are a couple of other games that, like, I'm excited to see where they go, but most of the games that I'm into are independents.
Yeah, right now, Fable's about the only thing that I really... Yeah, there's a lot going on here right now.
I was about to say, so much!
Yeah, Fable's about the only thing that I'm really super looking forward to right now, games-wise.
I can't bring myself to be super looking forward to Fable. Just given the track record of what we've seen from Fable and what we've seen from Microsoft, I can't bring myself to be actually excited for it. What I will say is it looks good, and if reviews say it's good, I might purchase it and review it myself. Like, that's the best I could do for that game right now. I just won't let myself go down the cyberpunk road again. I won't ever let myself, never again. Never again. Hashtag never again. So that ends fan interaction. We're going to take a quick break. We will be back with our double talking points.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to our talking point. And we've got a double talking point. I don't know which one we want to tackle first, but we have both the State of Play to talk about and Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond stepping down at Microsoft. Both huge ordeals, huge things to talk about. So, you know what, Neil? I'll let you pick your poison. Which one are we going after first?
So let's actually start with that one, the Phil Spencer thing.
Okay. Right.
The Xbox, man, I was reading an article, and apparently it was rumored that this was supposed to happen after he launched the new Xbox. He wanted that to be like his crowning jewel, his final achievement. And with everything going on, how things have been so far, and how things seem to be trending forward, he's just like, yeah, no, bro, I'm out. And truly, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that this took as long to happen, because like this is the final straw that you're like, yeah, no, I think it's okay. It's time for me to step down and move away. I mean, things at Microsoft have not been great for a while. Every single quarter they're talking, less and less consoles are being sold. There's no real massive excitement or hype around the ROG handhelds, if you can even find one, because the Rampocalypse is now fully 100% upon us, and it's probably killed any sort of momentum for the new Xbox console, if it even had any to begin with.
Okay, so yeah, this is interesting because I've had a very peaks and valleys sort of relationship with Phil Spencer. I really enjoyed him when I first started this podcast and this channel. He was like, I would have said, a personal hero of mine back then, and now I fucking can't stand the guy. And I think that and I think it's made worse because the people at Sony and the people at Nintendo are just dicks. whereas Phil Spencer, I feel like, pretends to be our friend and then stabs us in the back. Like, he can't wait to get on everybody's podcast and tell everybody how player forward he is, and then he railroads us with Game Pass price hikes and stupid fucking software updates and every other dumb thing under the sun, or the backhanded evil shit that came out during the whole lawsuit thing, all the emails back and forth, like this guy has pretended to be our friend for a really long time and just done nothing but shit on us. And fair point. It's a company. Companies shit on us. That's what companies do. I don't like the fakeness of him showing up to like, hey man, I got my cool leather jacket on. I just sailed in on a skateboard and I'll play the games and you like the games. We play the games together. Fuck you, Phil. I think that like, I think what's interesting here is the feeling I got from this was not that he actually wanted to step down. Like, that's not the feeling I got. And the reason I got that feeling is A, it was sudden. B, I think the last thing Xbox needs right now is a forward-facing regime change. I think that's going to make them even more unstable, at least look even more unstable to the consumers and, more importantly, the stockholders. But the other thing that makes me kind of feel like this was forced was Sarah Bond walking. Like, why is she suddenly walking too? I feel like this was you guys got to go. We'll let you retire on your own. What bothers me about that, though, is if Phil Spencer's vision was not the vision, I don't understand why he was allowed to do what he did for so long. Like, if Microsoft was like, this is what we wanted, then what do you want? You have constantly tried to make this a digital market. You've used Game Pass to kind of blow up the gaming scene consumer-wise for a long time, a few years now. And you did that because you were trying to put Xbox on everything. I mean, it was very clear to me what they were trying to do, which was end the console wars and just be everywhere, you know? That being said, if that's not the goal, what was the goal? Like, if we're getting rid of them, if they haven't been successful in that, what was the measurement of success? And I think this speaks to the crash. This speaks to how bad gaming is right now, because what is the bar for success? And I truly believe it is unattainable for all companies, period. Does the RAM shortage factor in? Hell yeah, it does. The RAM shortage sucks, and now it looks like we're staring down the barrel of a hard drive shortage, and like, it just sucks. It has ruined things. To speak of one of the things I was going to talk about, the Steam machine might be dead in the water because of it. Fine, but like, when was the goal for Microsoft to sell consoles? Like, it hasn't been Microsoft's goal to sell consoles for like fucking 8 years, as far as I'm concerned. Their goal has been to put Game Pass on people's TV screens. You don't sell consoles by saying a kitty litter box can be on Xbox. You don't sell consoles by saying that you don't need the console. All right, that's not how production works. So I've always thought that the console was just window dressing, so that they could always be looked at as a first party studio, whereas that was never the goal. So what is the goal then, Microsoft? If these two haven't been doing what you wanted, what was what you wanted, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Xbox's hardware division has been in, I wouldn't call it shambles, but general confusion for a while, ever since the beginning of this generation, when they started talking about their consoles being upgraded like phones. You remember that? Like, yeah. that was not a Not a great idea. They basically right out of the gate said, "Hey, here's your entry level Xbox and here's your good one, but don't worry, we have a bunch of these on the horizon planned. So if you don't buy this one, you can get the next one." The console itself, like you've said, like they've been back and forth between it being, a physical game player or like a digital Game Pass machine. They've never been able to pick a lane since then. I mean, honestly, they have not really had a firm death grip since the 360 generation because they bungled the Xbox One's initial announcement, and then the launch from there, the hardware has suffered.
Well, you're talking about hardware only, right?
Hardware only,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Right.
Because they've had great games on those platforms, but now the games are starting to suffer too because they're putting all their eggs in this service basket, which is fine if that's the route that you want to go. But again, you have to pick a lane, and they've not stuck to that. They are still trying to get into hardware through one way or another. Now they have this partnership with ROG to basically manufacture the same thing that ROG's been manufacturing, but they go ahead and slap the Microsoft Xbox branding on it.
And it's
they tried to make their own. Yeah, they tried to make their own handheld hardware and canceled it after they after they saw how bad it was. They tried that Keystone streaming only device that they just went up and canceled because that wasn't working out for them. They saw the writing on the wall for something like that. So now, what is the direction? Where are they going? Where are the games? We now they bought all of these studios. They've had all this time now. I think the time has long since passed to give them this pass of, well, they just bought X, Y, and Z studios, so pretty soon they're going to start producing. They're really not there. The only Microsoft games that come out, you get like 1 or 2 a year now, maybe, but they all end up showing up on the other platforms anyways. I've said this before, and you alluded to it. You cannot sell this Xbox console when you actively tell folks that you don't have to buy it. You can go somewhere else. Then why waste your time to begin with?
Right.
Why waste all that time and energy? I was just going to say, and now, because of this, this is now Phil Spencer's legacy.
Well, and Phil Spencer's legacy is going to end up being Game Pass no matter what he wants it to be. And I think that that was my thought process. My thought process was the consoles were only there to be a Game Pass delivery system. Like the Game Pass is the mission. The console is just another thing you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's not what you want, then what the fuck are we even doing here? And I think that as far as the games go, they have been releasing more games. They've had quite a few games. I think they've had at least 6 in the last 12-month period. They've all been AAA games, and they've all fucking failed. Except for maybe the Indiana Jones game. But they've all fucking failed. Avowed failed. Outer Worlds 2 and
Outer Worlds 2, yeah.
And here's the problem. Outer Worlds 2, from everything I hear, is a great game. I hear that's a great game that expands on Outer Worlds. So why did it fail? And the answer is they spent too much money and charged too much for it. I don't understand why we're not looking at that as a potential for the reason that these things are failing, that we are spending too much on them and expecting consumers to spend too much on them. Why? Why is this become such a luxury product? The first Outer Worlds was what, $40, $50? This one was $70. So, and it gave you the same amount of content? I can see why they would be slightly upset as consumers. The problem is Microsoft buys these studios, pours money into them. These studios who have been operating on much smaller budgets and knew how to be efficient with it, all of a sudden they are inundated with cash that they don't know what to do with. They spend too much on it and they create shit. Whereas If they were creating the game that got them to the table in the first place, they'd be fine. Look at the most successful game that the most successful games that Xbox have released in the last couple of years, other than the ones for like Bethesda and shit. It's been Grounded. Grounded 1, Grounded 2. Like incredibly successful games. Why were those incredibly successful? Because they are small teams working on absolutely very little budget and just working on what they can work on there. They're still operating like old Obsidian operated, and that's why those games are being successful. Whereas these other AAA fucking abominations, they're not even bad. It's just you expect them to sell so much copies, you jack the price up so much that when they don't sell billions of copies and they don't set the world on fire, it's a failure. The fact that we're not getting an Outer Worlds 3 is a travesty. And the only reason it's a travesty is because of how Microsoft handled Obsidian and how Obsidian has handled that game. And that speaks to Microsoft. That speaks to the crash. It all comes back to this like over expenditure without a realistic vision of what people actually have to spend on their products, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely at this point in time, you know, cost of everything keeps going up and we keep talking about it. Games are a luxury item. They're a hobby. You know, there's all these rumors about the next increase in the cost of games coming down the pipeline with what Grand Theft Auto is going to be able to get away with. Mm-hmm. And I know everybody's watching that, you know, because they're going to see, you know, what they can charge based on that sort of information there. It's just, I don't know, Microsoft, they really do need to decide what type of company they want to be. I honestly, truly think that they should just cancel this next console that they're trying to do here.
So should
they really
Sony.
Need to. everybody needs to like that right now. With the RAM shortage now supposed to be, from everything that we're seeing here, definitely lasting through the end of this year, potentially partway through 27. Everybody's delaying their stuff. We already alluded to it here. You know, Valve, the Steam machine may be dead in the water. Steam Decks are nearly impossible to find now. Everything else that does remain is going up. You know, it's absolutely insane. To give you some perspective on everything, I think we talked about this with the cost of RAM. The computer that I built for Kayla, the RAM in her PC right now is so expensive based on the current prices on it, based on what I paid, because I ended up paying, it was like $120 per package of RAM or something like that for that. She got 64 gigabytes in there. Right now, if somebody were to take that, like if somebody were to rob our house, that's how they can make away with the fastest amount of money value worth things in our house. Because now that same set is worth about $1,000, which is absolutely insane to me.
It is absolutely insane. And I think all of the companies that make consoles should be taking a page out of Valve's book. And, you know, we almost talked about it today, but the rumor is the Steam machine is getting potentially canceled or at least heavily delayed for time, which makes me think that my pricing that they were going for was right. And they realized that they can't hit that pricing. And if they release it at what they would have to release it at, it would be a waste of time. So now they're putting it on hold. That's what I feel like is happening with this. And I think every other console should follow suit, because in the end, you can't make these things affordable. You can't even make them affordable. And even if you could, nobody needs them. Okay? I'm going to say this. Nobody needs the next generation of consoles. Whatever you have in your living room right now is enough. In fact, if what you have in your living room is from a generation, maybe even two prior to this, it's still fucking enough. Like, we reached a singularity on graphics, on fidelity, on all of that stuff a generation ago, maybe a generation before that. You're not getting any, your eyes aren't getting any benefit from anything at this point. Like, what could you possibly be giving us? Plus, the prices keep going up for smaller and smaller incremental things. When it was like from going from like 16-bit to like 32-bit, there is a visible, huge change there. And that's what you're paying the extra $50 for. But now we're paying extra hundreds of dollars for like 1K of graphics. It's fucking insane to me. You do not need these consoles. These consoles should not come out. There should be no PlayStation 6. There should be no Xbox 3650 or whatever it's going to be. They need to stop. And honestly, I don't think the Switch 2 should have come
out. Yeah, I mean, overall, when it comes to the current generation, I mean, they're still, for the longest time, had been making games for the previous generation console as well. We're now in this weird period of time where only half of the current generation actually gets stuff that's like exclusive to that generation and not the previous generation before it.
Yep.
And those life cycles keep getting shorter and shorter as well. You know, we used to have a console standard generation would last 8 to 10 years. We're at about 6-ish now. If that in some cases, because then we have the mid-generation Pro models and everything like that that are starting to come out that are exponentially more expensive, that do not get all the way to next generation, you know, improvements on them. Yeah, it is quite a waste. But I don't know, man, like Phil Spencer going out at this point, I think it says more about the state of Microsoft and where they are than it actually does like him and his legacy and like where he is with the company, even though it's trying to be phrased as a, well, this was in the cards sort of situation as they're trying to present it.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think we've covered it, though. Do you want to switch to State of Play?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with
Quick bake.
Quick bake. And not yet. Not until school's out. Not until school's out. Pause. All right, here's the deal. We need to end this call and restart it because you have been like 1 second behind your audio the entire time, and it's driving me fucking nuts. Yeah, like totally fine. You say interesting, I hear interesting, and then your lips say interesting. So I just want to try resetting the call.
That's fine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it brings us to our second talking point. Sony had a State of Play. This is at this point like 3 weeks ago. I know we're behind, but we live where we live, man. So we're going to talk about it. And I actually thought this State of Play was kind of a banger, which I'm not going to lie. I very rarely watch State of Plays and go, nice. But this one actually, that one actually was like, whoa, I got to check this one out. So I just did a little Google AI overview of the major announcements there just to save us some fucking time. I'm just going to read them out, and then we can talk about the ones we want. We go at the announcement of the God of War Sons of Sparta, which is a surprise 2D side-scrolling action game developed by Megacat Studios and Santa Monica Studio, available that day, so it's been out on PS5. God of War Trilogy Remake. Castlevania Belmont's Curse, a new 2D entry into the Castlevania, and it's created by Motion Twin, which they made Dead Cells. We're going to talk a lot about that one, I'm sure. Ghost of Yotai Legends, which is the 4-player co-op mode for Ghost of Yotai, which Ghost of Tsushima had one of these that was like it that launched a little bit afterwards. So it's similar. An untitled John Wick game that actually showed off what looked like gameplay. Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition. Death Stranding 2. Saros. 007 First Light got a confirmed May release date. Kenya Bridge of Spirits got a sequel announced. Metal Gear Solid 4 is coming to modern consoles via Master Collection 2. Dead or Alive 6 Last Round, which is an updated version of the original game. They also announced another Dead or Alive is in production. I'm guessing Dead or Alive 7 or whatever. And then something called Neva Prologue. Then they also did Marathon is going to get an open preview before it actually launches. Legacy of Kain, which is a new 2D platformer, and from that, Beasts of Reincarnation got a scheduled August 2026 release, and then they talked about some PlayStation Plus games. Did I miss anything important, man?
Control Revenant.
Oh, yes. Why was that not in here? Failure, AI, failure. Yes, Control Revenant, which is the sequel to Control, yeah.
Yes, and that one...
Like a proper one, not a weird multiplayer sequel to it.
Yeah, I will be honest, that one's got me excited. I never finished the OG Control. I played a little bit of it.
Oh, it's so good.
But the gameplay... Yeah, I dropped the ball because I saw it was on Steam for $5 the one day. I put it in my cart and I never purchased it, and then it's not on sale anymore, so I gotta wait for that to come back again. But yeah, I remember playing some of that and enjoying it, but this one, even it's more melee focused, and it really sort of scratches that sort of itch just looking at it. Dude, I don't know, like, this was a good ass show
For
The
PlayStation, it was really good.
For PlayStation, I will say the Sons of Sparta has kind of fallen very flat. I don't know if you've seen that's kind of an odd, like, you know, games are going to have to jump genres sometimes, and I don't knock them for trying, but I don't know if a 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania is exactly what fans of God of War were really looking for, potentially. And I mean, I for one am excited about the trilogy remake, because I've heard that it's going to be changing how the game plays. It's not going to be hack and slashy. It's going to follow more of the standard God of War, standard God of War play style, which would be interesting. Don't know why they're not doing the next saga necessarily yet, but that's neither here nor there. But the Castlevania, man, I about shit a brick.
Okay, so you talked about a lot there.
Yes.
The Gods of War, Sons of Sparta, I don't know anything about it. God of War is not my bag, so that's not something I would even try. But the God of War trilogy remake, I'm not going to lie, that actually left a really bad taste in my mouth. If there was any negative thing on here that I really kind of was like, yuck, it's that. I am so sick of remakes, like what, like a year after the third one came out? Like, what are we doing here? Like, you're not even remaking the first one, you're remaking the whole trilogy all over again. They're already next generation games, like, I don't know. This reeked of Last of Us remake to me, and I don't like that at all. No, because the OG first two God of Wars was on PS2, and then God of War 3 was on PS3. Ooh, maybe I misunderstood something. I thought this was God of War, the recent ones.
No, Lord, no. They're redoing the Greek trilogy.
Oh,
because they didn't do the Norse one as a trilogy. They only did 2.
Wow, I totally failed to understand that. I thought they were just remaking the ones that just came fucking out. I'm like, what are we doing?
No.
No. Well, I get it wrong.
Yeah, the OGs.
See?
The OGs
I get it
are
wrong
getting
sometimes.
remade.
That actually is exciting. That changes my entire opinion of it. That being said, I hated those games.
No, I get it. They were not...
I hated
Some of them are very, very dated. Going back and playing the original God of War is excruciating at this point because of its just built-in difficulty.
My friends played that a lot when it came out, and I was just like, I don't understand why you like this. I hate the fact that everybody I kill, I've got to like do a weird button combination to kill them. I just want to kill them. Like, why is there a mini game for killing them? But okay, that's different. That's a little bit better. Okay, so the other thing you talked about was Control Revenant. Mm-hmm. Control is a great game. Absolutely great game. I loved it. It definitely scratched an itch, and I think it's Remedy at its best. There are some scenes in that game, the ashtray scene, that is just, oh man, it still gives my blood chills for that scene. It's absolutely great. So go play that one. I'm sure the second one will be good. I'm a little nervous because I think Remedy has definitely gone down the wrong path on some things recently. So we really need to see them kind of return to form on that, and whether or not they're willing to do that. I'm hoping so. And then finally, Castlevania Belmont's Curse. Super stoked about this. I think you and I talked about multiple times on a podcast that if Konami doesn't want to make another Castlevania game, just let other people make a Castlevania game. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants Castlevania games, just let them do it. Dead Cells, which is a roguelike 2D sort of game, had a Castlevania DLC. I think that was the last time we talked about this. And now the same company is being gifted the keys to the castle and making Castlevania Belmont's Curse. What I find really interesting here is, where is this going to fall in the story of Castlevania? How is this going to interact with Castlevania? Is this technically going to be a proper entry? Which I hope so. I think so. But I'm very excited to see more about that one.
Well, I know the timeline, the Castlevania timeline is one of those crazy ass ones to where the entries are all over the place. And I think it's one of the ones that does have a branching 2 separate sort of timeline situation, kind of like how Zelda does in the chronology of everything. It seems a bit like it might be later in the timeline, given the nature of what was discussed in the trailer and everything. But I mean, the fact that we're getting an actual Castlevania game is just so exciting after so long. I'm trying to remember what the last real Castlevania game was. Not that Grimoire of Souls mobile crap. Actual entry, and I feel like I want to say it was a DS game.
Yeah, probably. Or
one of the 3D I think games. It was Order of Ecclesia. Order of Ecclesia was the last one that I can really remember that was an actual Castlevania entry, unless it was Lords of Shadow 2.
There was
outside of that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Outside of that, go ahead.
No, I mean, outside of that, it's just been mobile and collection re-releases and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's super duper exciting to me, man. Kena Bridge of Spirits, they're the sequel. Bridge of Spirits was the first one. This other one is kind of a surprise that we were getting a sequel to that. Mm-hmm. 'Cause it's one of those that kind of came out. It was a PS5 launch title, if I remember correctly.
I don't know.
and it seemed to be it was one of those, yeah, it's okay. And then you never heard anything about it again. And now this is turning into almost the articles that I'm reading are kind of treating it like a Legend of Zelda for the PS5 for Sony, which would be very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
I will say Marathon does give me some concern with everything that's been going on with High Guard.
You are jumping to too many games too fast, man.
And
I can't
I
keep
know,
up.
I know.
I can't keep up.
No. I've been bottled up inside of me for 2 weeks.
It's been longer than 2.
That's true, yeah.
Okay, so to stop you on Kenya, I never played the first Kenya. I saw what it was, and it looked interesting. I'm surprised it's getting a sequel, but it's definitely one that anytime you get a surprise in a show like this, it's a good thing, and that one was a surprise. Marathon. Here's the thing. I don't like anything I've seen about Marathon. But I will say this. I give them props for what they're doing with the release of it. Which this free play right before the purchase thing, I think is a really good call on their part. And I think one of the problems Marathon has had leading up to this is it has terrible PR. Everybody's really mad about it. And I'm not even talking about just the gameplay. I'm talking about like
everything else.
Yeah, the whole art stealing and the other things that they're doing that was not great. So I think that like them going, okay, look, this has not been the best like pre-release lead up to a game. So what we're going to do is we're going to just let you play it for a whole weekend before it comes out. And then if you want to buy it, buy it. You know, I think is a great call on their part. I won't be, I mean, I might actually try it, honestly, just to try it. But like, it doesn't look like something that I would be in, like a co-op only looter. A co-op only extraction-based shooter is not something that I usually get into unless I have a very specific group of friends that decides to get into it. And even then, we don't play that much together. So like, I don't know if it would be something I get into, you know? But like, I think that's a good call. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you can continue to bounce now. I caught up.
Oh no, that was all the that was all the bouncing.
Well, let me bounce a little bit.
I mean, yeah.
I think First Light for a May release. I'm really excited. I will be there first day. I cannot wait for a good James Bond game. I think IO has the best chance of making a good James Bond game. I cannot wait to just get a James Bond mission and have to try and handle it as James Bond, like in my own way. And I can't wait to be there when like I'm doing some stealth stuff and it all falls apart and I have to like, you know, run across 6 buildings and shoot 3 guys. Like, I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping it's really good. It's by far the only AAA game that I'm 100% like, I'm going to get that first day. And then we've got to talk about the John Wick game.
Yeah.
We got to talk about this. So, I know what you're all out there thinking. You're thinking a John Wick game, how much Zach loves John Wick. He's going to be super excited about this. I am not willing to compromise my principles for John Wick, even for John Wick. And I'm going to say this, they did not show me enough. We do not have a title for this game. All we have seen is a digitalized Keanu Reeves killing people. I will acquiesce to the fact that it did look like gameplay at the end, where they were actually doing stuff in the alleyway. But at the same time, we did not see a HUD. We did not see any button prompts. We just saw John Wick killing people. We don't know how this game is played. We don't know what this game is going to be. We don't even have a name for this game. I refuse to go down the cyberpunk path no matter how excited I want to be about this game. I refuse to do it. They didn't show us enough. This is a vertical slice of a vertical slice, and I don't like that. I don't want to see a game if you can't give me a title.
I mean, there's a very real possibility it could just be called John Wick. I would not be surprised.
I'd be okay with that.
But yeah, I mean, I could see a world where it's kind of like Super Hot, to where you kind of can slow down and see what it is that you're doing, and then once you start making your moves, like things progress. That would make a lot of sense to me. Maybe something that's in the vein of Batman Arkham, to where there's like reaction prompts when you get near dudes and you start doing stuff. But to be fair, yes, we do not know a whole heck of a lot about this game. I am a shill and will get hyped for just about anything, so I'm excited for it.
I love you, man.
Yeah, I'm 100% excited.
I would never want to take that childlike wonder from you, sir. The day that it dies, I will be a sad day for me.
I will 100% be very sad when it comes out and is not what I want it to be, but damn it, I'm a dreamer. And I think it's going to be at least pretty okay. I want more lore. I want it to be a tie-in. I don't want it to be its own thing. I want this to take place within the world, be it a prequel, a story that happens between one of the movies, something like that. It needs to be attached to things.
It needs to be a prequel. And this is coming from an absolute John Wick superfan. I have seen all the content that John Wick universe has released, and good and bad. Continental was rough, but
Continental was rough. I still haven't seen Ballerina.
Rough. It was. I haven't seen Ballerina yet. You got me there too. It's been on Stars. What the fuck has Stars? I don't. Fuck you.
Nobody.
Anyway, aside from all of that, I've seen everything else other than Ballerina. It has to be a prequel. Absolutely has to be a prequel. The reason it has to be a prequel, Keanu Reeves is getting old. I love Keanu Reeves. And I love the fact that John Wick seems to be immortal. Keanu Reeves is not. He is, I think, almost in his 60s. He's definitely in his 50s. He is not a man that's going to be able to, continue to look like John Wick. Unless it's digital. He's going to sound like John Wick. He's going to sound like John Wick until he dies. And, that's why I'm saying this digitally, all the digital games should be all about John Wick pre-John Wick. It should be how he became an assassin, what he did as an assassin, how he became the greatest assassin, how he got out of his assassinry. You know what I mean? That's where the game should be. All of the digital games that star specifically John Wick. If you're going to make a game in the John Wick universe, which I think would be fucking awesome, you got to do it with somebody else. Don't do it with John Wick. Okay? Don't do it with John Wick. Have him cameo, have him give him a mission, have him talk to you. Maybe even you get to fight him in a side boss battle, but you don't make the game about John Wick unless it is specifically a huge chunk of lore. And the only way you do that is if it's in the digital prequel. These all should be prequels. And I'm not a huge fan of prequels, but I think the games should all be prequels. And they should all illuminate what the fuck happened with John Wick before the dog.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I would love to see more within that world, maybe the establishment of the high table, everything like that. That it's such a lore-rich story, and it somehow tells you everything and nothing all at once through the movies, and I feel like a game is just another perfect avenue to explore something like that.
I think so. I think if you're going to make it a current day John Wick game, you should be able to make your own character. Pick who you're fighting for. I think that would be way cool. Way cool.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Okay. Is there anything else we want to shout out during the State of Play?
I think that is about it.
All right, guys. My voice is killing me. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to do plugs.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show and the shameless self-promotion that comes with it. Tiny Wizard, what would you like to plug?
So we are trying so hard, ever so hard, to make some more progress on Ordo. Life, as we've said before, has been lifing. And now that we're beyond the holiday season and all of the chaos that it's so in, hopefully, we can get back into, getting back in Streets of Retro. We haven't done BG3L3 in an extremely long period of time, which I do think about a lot, by the way. But yeah, things in the works. We're hopefully going to get back on track here soon.
Yes, that is correct. My content has been very low. I've been using a lot of reviews to keep it up, so you guys can check those out. I've got like 3 or 4 reviews that have come out, and I got 2 more coming out. I reviewed Voyager, and I also played the Windrose demo. So that should be coming out soon, if not this week, next. Let me see. What else? Also, just go play Absalom. They just did this fucking phenomenal update to it that has given me all sorts of reasons to play. You could check out my review for that update, which nobody did. I think it got like 6 views, but I'm very proud of it because that update was phenomenal. It's free, and it literally is like, hey, here's an end game for the game. And it's just I'm dumping hours into it again. It's hard to pull myself away from other things. I love Absalom. So, other than that, you guys can check us out on Discord. Links in the description below. Influence us in all of our shows from there. And as long as you guys keep watching and listening, though it may be far and few in between, we will keep making them. See you guys next time.